What's up, everybody? Let's talk Jets radio. Quick video here, late night. Bunch of rumors from earlier today that I just wanted to get to on the Derek Carr situation. First, with Adam Schefter reporting that the Raiders have granted Carr permission to speak with teams only that have agreed to the trade compensation. So you hear that and you think, all right, so there must be a number of teams that have actually agreed to the compensation. Carr's talking with them. According to Carr yesterday, I believe he said he hasn't spoken with anybody yet. According to Garofalo, Dov Kleiman, a bunch of the Raiders beat reporters, they're all saying the same thing. He hasn't talked with anybody. Nothing's changed because nobody's agreed to the compensation, and they won't until they can actually talk with Carr about a contract. And until Carr can talk with a team, he has a full no-trade clause, and he won't accept a deal. So with the February 15th deadline looming, it seems doubtful right now that a trade's going to happen. Yes, that could change, but a 31, soon to be 32-year-old quarterback that hasn't won a playoff game in his career. He's making $32 million this year, and then 40 the next 2 years after that. What team is giving up serious draft compensation to get him? And some might believe that they could actually sign him because the Raiders are probably going to be forced to cut him anyway. And others just might not see him, being worth that much. They might want to trade for him and then rework his deal, and who knows if Carr's willing to do that. So, regardless, I just don't see the fit for the Jets. The whole idea that he's better than what we have, yes, I'll keep saying it. He's better than what we have, and so is Jimmy G, so is Tannehill, so is Aaron. Almost every free agent quarterback is better than what the Jets have had. The Jets have not had good quarterbacks, so for me, that's not an argument. The Matthew Stafford stuff that he was with the Lions on bad teams. Look what happened when he went to a good team. Well, do the New York Jets have Sean McVay? Do the New York Jets have that elite coaching staff right now? The problem is you can look at Carr and you can look at Saleh, and both of them individually as quarterbacks and as head coaches in the AFC, not even in the entire NFL, in the AFC. Carr does not crack the top 7 quarterbacks. He just doesn't. Saleh doesn't crack the top 10 of head coaches. He just doesn't. So if you're going to pair, and I hate to use the word average for Carr because I do feel like he's a good quarterback, but in terms of where he ranks in the AFC, yes, he's average. He's not in the top 7. Trevor Lawrence, Burrow, Herbert, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. There's definitely a Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's not in that top 7. He's not. Okay? So that's why I throw the word average out there. I feel like he's probably an above-average quarterback, but in the AFC, if you're ranked 8th or 9th, I mean, that's the definition of average. You're middle of the pack. And Saleh, look at the head coaches in the AFC. Belichick, McDermott, Vrabel, Peterson, Andy Reid, Zach Taylor, Tomlin, Harbaugh, now Sean Payton. Saleh's not in the top 10. So for me, winning a Super Bowl comes down to having at least one of those things being elite. You can have the elite head coach with, the average to good quarterback with a great roster, and you could probably win. You could have the elite quarterback with maybe a good to average head coach and a good roster, and you could probably win. But if you're talking about being average at quarterback, average at head coach, I don't know what the ceiling is for the New York Jets with that. And again, the contract, the years, yes, he's younger, but that could also be just as much, if not even more of a risk, investing those 4 or 5 years in Carr, whether it's on a new deal or, just taking him up on the 3 years, $40+ million for the next couple of years. To me, that's equally as risky for somebody that hasn't won a playoff game, that for the last, 4 out of his last 6 years have been under 500. 5 out of the last 6 years have been 500 or lower. 1 year that he was 500, 4 years that he was under 500. Hasn't won a playoff game. I get it, he's got the stats. You could say it was the coaching. You could say it was the talent around him. But is this coaching staff going to elevate Derek Carr to that level where he's getting the New York Jets to compete for a Super Bowl? That's my biggest question. And I feel like the Jets' ceiling is capped with Carr. And if you're going to be paying him that kind of money with questions about the head coach, possibly questions about the GM going into next year and beyond, it has a recipe for disaster, I feel like. And it'll be fun to have a competitive team with a good quarterback. The seasons will probably be fun for the first couple of years. You probably make the playoffs and the playoff drought, but then where does it go from there? And maybe I'm being too greedy. A lot of us just want playoffs again and just competent football, but I want to see a championship. I want to compete with the best. And I think for at least the next 2 years, Aaron Rodgers gives me that chance to do that. And until I know that he's off the table, I can't realistically make an offer to Carr. So talk to you guys later.